So very good. Well, thanks for joining us and taking the time to share, just a little bit about your journeys through franchise development. Leaders come from different places for your brands. Some come through operations, finance, marketing, et cetera, but also through franchise development. And, it kind of begins and ends with us, right? We're kind of the tip of the spear. We understand the business so very well, and these two are no different. So I'll just let them do the introductions and maybe how you got involved in franchise development, how it all began, if you will. So, Kristen, I'll let you start.
My name is Kristen, and I am the CEO of Massage Luxe, which is a massage and facial spa. We opened 100 units about a month ago. We're at 102 now, hopefully 110 by the end. Thank you. Super cool. Yeah, amazing. Membership-based model. 75% of our revenue comes from memberships. We have amazing members and amazing franchisees. And yeah, I started as CGO 5 years ago. 2 years ago, took over as CEO.
There you go. Great. Sean?
Great. Sean Fitzgerald. I am president of True Blue Home Service Ally. So we're a home maintenance and repair franchise, but we really focus on seniors and aging in place and fall prevention. So that's what makes us unique. We're about 130 franchise locations. We just recently hit 100 as well. So it was a good milestone for us. And I have been in franchising my entire professional career. Actually, I started a business in college and grew it, and we franchised it and have been in franchising ever since. And I just kind of gravitated towards the development side because when I first did franchising and launched our business and rolled it out, I was terrible at franchising. And so I learned and made a lot of mistakes and learned from it. And it was funny, when I left that organization, I was like, I'll never get in franchising again. This is really hard, don't want to do it. And then the phone starts ringing, and next thing you know, I'm talking to people and realizing that I learned from those mistakes, and I kind of think about that, and it kind of applied to franchise development, which I was really passionate about, and I've had a great career in franchise development and worked with startup brands to very large brands, and have had a really great career.
Excellent. Good. Yeah, any experience is good experience, right? And as long as you build off of that. So I'll stick with you for a moment, Sean. When and how did you know that you wanted to be in the leadership position? Did you ever feel ready? What would tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was always approached about leading brands previously, and I didn't really know if I wanted to. And I worked with some great leaders and got to experience work right hand with them. And sometimes we were looking at it. It just was a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. And for me personally, I was just looking for the right role for me. And I've been doing franchising a long time. I chased the title and the money one time and realized it was not the best decision. Yeah. So I was very fortunate with True Blue because I felt like the brand had been around for a little while, but they were kind of struggling. And it was really the lack of understanding of the senior industry, because we were focused on that. And not understanding senior industry made it very difficult as a business, because if you don't understand how that works, it's all about networking, connecting with the medical community. And if you're a handyman and you're not doing that, you just become a handyman business, and that's where they got stuck. So the opportunity was presented to me because I knew that there was a void in the marketplace when it came to home maintenance, aging in place, fall prevention, from my experience working at Bright Star Senior Care. And I felt like I had a good plan to put in place to really take True Blue to a really cool level. So the opportunities felt right. I felt like that I could contribute and make a difference. And I also had the license to do what I thought needed to be done. And having all those three things was really compelling. And yeah. I don't know if I would have done it if I didn't have the confidence to know what to try, and then the license to really adapt the business to where we needed to go to.
Awesome, fantastic. Kristen, similar or different?
I mean, I knew I wanted to be a CEO at 6 months. No. I think that like, oh, I had so many good conversations last night with amazing franchise development people who are looking to go into the CEO role. And what I told them is what I will tell you and what I tell my franchisees. When you look at something in macro view, like opening a franchise, it's fucking overwhelming. It's hard. Like having a baby, it's hard. How do you go from A to B to C to D?
Correct.
You don't know, but you do it, and then eventually you've done it. And so don't let the imposter syndrome of I've never ran a brand before delay your ability to run a brand. Like you, in franchise development in particular, you people who are in Fran Dev, you know more about the business than probably the people leading it because you were selling it. And so you know the intricacies of operations and finance and profitability and marketing. You know it all already. You're selling it. So why not run it? I would hire a Fran Dev CEO any day over an operations leader because they know all about the business.
Well said, well said. Any special steps or roles along the way or experiences that prepared you specifically?
I mean, I feel like with any job, you do the job before you've done the job, right? Like, so as CGO, I was looking to take on additional opportunity, and I went to the CEO who was amazing at the time, and I said, I don't know operations that well. I'm a CMO, CGO background. Like, I need to know operations. I know what I want to do. Can I lead the operations team? And as the leader of franchise development, I also led the operations team. Was it in my title? No, it was not. Was it super hard and not very fun? Also, yes, it was not very fun. But I think if you know what you want to do and you advocate for yourself, you can do it.
Yeah, yeah. And certainly out of your comfort zone.
Totally.
All along the way.
Totally. I don't like ops. Those people are too detailed for me. I want the big picture, not the small picture, but you need to know it.
Yeah, you need to know it. Yep. Yep. How about for you, Sean? Any special occasions, that opened doors for you along the way?
I agree with what she was saying. For me, it was the confidence of the fact that, working for organizations that are owned by private equity or large franchise systems, you had to go to board meetings. And I realized that when I went to board meetings that, the CFO went for 10 minutes, the operations guy went for 10 minutes, and then Fran Dev was 90 minutes, as everybody wanted to know what was going on in Fran Dev. So the pressure is really on Fran Dev, right? We're the rainmakers. And so that's where I was like, hey, I think I might have the confidence to be able to do this because, the Fran Dev is typically the hardest thing to get going in franchises. And the light is on Fran Dev. And so I also agree with the fact that be curious in how the business operates and be curious about the marketing side, the operation side, what it takes to be a successful franchisee in the system. It helps you in Fran Dev, but it also helps you understand the business. And I go back to my Bright Star experience because we had some great teams and great executives and organization, but I was really curious about how the senior industry worked because the imposter syndrome, right? And so I knew Fran Dev, I knew franchising, I knew nothing about senior care or the medical community and the words they used. And so I would just spend time with people in the organization that were expert in those fields just to learn. And I think that learning of how the industry works and what people go through and how senior care and aging in place, it just really had helped me to what I am today. So, my advice would be to be curious, have that curious mind, and ask questions, especially in fields and areas where you don't feel, the strongest. I'm not necessarily a CFO by any means. Yeah. And the good news is that when you run an organization, you have a CFO. So their expertise are the finances, but you want to be familiar with, being able to read it and interpret it, but you don't have to be an expert at it because that's what the CFO is for.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love how both of you said you knew what you didn't know. Whether it was the title didn't tell you or give you license to know it, you went out and found it and filled in the gaps for yourself. Fantastic. Any of those aha moments or if I knew then what I know now type of moments for you?
I mean, for me, like when I got promoted to CEO, I was really scared. I was like, oh, well, I don't know what I'm doing. But the reality is you actually do because franchising is about relationships. And so if you have solid relationships with your franchisees, which who's a better relationship maker than your franchise development person? then you have happy franchisees, and with happy franchisees comes more sales. And I think that I spent so much time trying to figure out, like, how do I build a strategy? I have no idea. I don't know what a strategy is. Then if I just would have said, Kristen, it's just a plan, and like you make a plan every single day, I would have done this way earlier. And like, I think that you psych yourself out on something that, of course, is really hard. It's not a fun job. It's lonely at the top. But when you get there, you take it day by day, just like you're doing right now in your job.
Awesome. Sean?
My aha moment was surround yourself with great people. And, have a vision. And that's the thing that drove me to want to do this role at True Blue is I really had a clear vision of what this brand could become. And I shared that vision with everybody that joined the organization, including franchisees and everything else. And having a great team has given me the ability to delegate and let go. And that's really hard for Melissa, who's my VP of development, because my passion has always been Fran Dev, and that was really hard for me to let go. And allowing her to blossom in that role has really led to our growth and allowed me to focus on other areas of the business. So surround yourself with great people. If you're in organizations, learn from those people. Franchising is a very small world, as all of us in this room know, and you never know who you'll be working along with in the future. Learn as much as you can about all aspects of the business.
There you go. Excellent. So I'm hearing lonely at the top. I'm hearing challenging. I'm hearing, but again, to your point, just surround your. I'm sure you.
I think someone said like congratulations and condolences.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what you mean yet, but I will.
Yeah, for sure. Any surprises, Kristen? When you got that chair?
There's been a lot of surprises. I think the biggest surprise for me is how and I love this, it's a good surprise, how much relationships impact your success. And like I said, like you as salespeople, if you are a salesperson, you've built your entire career on having people trust you and guide them through something that is big. Rolling your 401k or investing all of your life savings in something, they have to trust you. That's no different than what I do every day. They've just already invested, and I have to continue to remind them that we are the reason that you invested, and we're gonna live up to that. And so I think the responsibility surprised me, and the relationship surprised me. Responsibility meaning not like the workload,
right.
Like I have control over whether you can pay for your kids' dance lessons. Like that's heavy. Yeah, and you, by the way, have control over whether I can pay for my kids' dance lessons.
As well.
So we're in a marriage.
There you go. Sean, surprises?
Well, there's always surprises in business and franchising and leading an organization. So that just kind of goes along, I think, with everybody that's out there. But the aha moment, or the thing that I felt like really clicked, is when I had this vision of what True Blue could become. And I have a hard time articulating that and getting that out. And one of the exercises we did was our mission, vision, and core values. And before I had done that, I always would fall asleep when brands talked about their mission, vision, and core values, because it was all a bunch of, just BS and stuff. But by doing that exercise and really having a mission and a vision and core values that resonated with what we were building, just really solidified, I think, our team and our franchisees. And so when I talk to our franchisees about our business and what they're doing and what they're building, and then they say back to me, without even knowing they're doing it, these missions and visions and core values, then you're really on to something. And getting your team aligned is so critical. Just to give an example of some of the things that you'll come across is that, lead generation team and marketing versus the friend dev team, right? There's this, leads aren't any good from the sales team. The lead gen team saying, you guys can't sell, right? So there's just trying to be cohesive together, to work together and prevent having, development isolation and department isolation. So that was kind of the one thing that I wanted to bring to it is that I've done lead gen and I've done franchise development, and I've been involved in franchising a long time, and trying to get the teams aligned was one of the things I really wanted to focus on, because when you have a great team, it's going the right direction and feeling good about what you're doing, they're going to give you amazing things, and you're going to accomplish amazing things. And I've been doing this a long time, that I wanted to be in an organization where I could be me, and I could have fun, and I could bring people along that wanted to do the same thing. And so the aha for me was that, and I'm very blessed to be able to do this role and do it the way I wanted to do it, and the opportunity was right. But there was risk. I mean, when I joined True Blue, there was a handful of franchisees. I was doing great, had a great career, and learned about True Blue, called my wife up and said, I'm going to do something really crazy. I'm going to take a major pay cut and take a major risk, but I felt like this was the right time, the right opportunity. Nice. So my advice would be, don't chase, like I said earlier, is like, my advice would be, don't chase opportunities just for the title. Chase opportunities where you feel that you could contribute and that you would be valued by your knowledge, because I always tell my team, if you're delivering value, you have job security. So just align with that, and the opportunities will present themselves, and you'll know when it's right.
Yeah. I'm sure both of you, I'm sure your franchise development teams appreciate you in the organization, because you've come with that perspective. Yeah, but you come with that perspective. So anybody that hasn't done it before, it's hard to describe what you're describing. So what keeps you up at night? Anything?
Lots. Yeah. What keeps me up at night is, I think, and this is selfish, but I'll say it when I'm saying it. We have a really good brand. We've got happy franchisees. We've got an amazing business model. Like, I really actually do love the business. What keeps me up is the fact that a lot of people don't know the business model, and they don't know who we are. And yes, we passed 100, but like, I want to pass 500. Yeah. And so I think I spend most of my time saying, I've got something really special. My franchisees make a lot of money. They like working with us. They actually do like us for the most part. And how do I get more people like that to join this amazing thing that I love? Yeah,
well, that helps. That's coming from a position of strength, so good for you. Sean?
Oh gosh, I think
keeping you up at night?
I still have the imposter syndrome. So I'm still concerned that a franchisee is going to ask me a question that I don't know the answer to. Yeah. But so, I think it's, just having a brand that you feel is going someplace is really exciting. And, I had to make some really tough decisions when I joined, and it was very different direction than the brand was, including rebranding and all of it. And it was a risk, and not everybody was happy about it. But once we did it and we were aligned, it all started making sense. And that's when I think our brand really gelled. It was the rebranding, it was the mission, vision, core values, the franchisees were behind it, the candidates that we talked to understood it, and they see the opportunity and how we're different and where we fit in. And, that's what has been a great run so far. And so I think what keeps me up at night is, someone's going to be saying, you did it wrong.
No, you didn't. That's perception.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
That's right. Very good. Well, 5 words or less as we close out this session. 5 words or less for advice for anyone in the audience that would like to follow your path.
I mean, I've always said, and I don't like this phrase, but I've always been like, fake it till you make it. And then I'm like, oh, that sounds weird. I'm not faking it. Like, I'm meant to be here. I do the things. But somebody once said, it's face it until you make it. Face it until you make it. You just keep going step by step, and you will get there. But again, in macro view, it's really daunting. But in micro view, you've done hard shit, and you can continue to do hard shit. So do it.
There you go. Sean?
Mine's very simple. It's what I tell my team is be curious and tenacious. And if you have those traits, you're going to do very well. And always grow, develop, and learn. And that'll pay off.
There you go. Good. You guys around for the rest of the day?
No,
Yep.
we're leaving right
You're
now.
leaving? You're leaving right now?
No.
I was going to say, look them up, talk to them. Again, you're here. Make this your week, your conference to invest in you and get to know these two. I think you'll be pleased to know their story and to learn more from them. So thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yep.